Hello everyone, this is your teacher Ayoub. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to your online English class. In this class, for this week, we're going to continue whatever left of Unit 8, called the place. Okay, let's start. So, in this class, for this week, we're going to continue the grammar and the story. For the grammar, we have may and might. And for the story, which is rescuing the seal pups. Alright, so at first we have the grammar, which is may and might. It's in your student book, page 97 and page 127, and for your workbook it's in page 97. Okay, so may and might. May and might mean in Arabic ربما. Okay, they hold the same meaning. So may and might are modal verbs. Okay, modal verbs are helping verbs which help the main or the base verb in order to complete a specific meaning for the sentence. Okay, so both may and might suggest possibility of something to happen. So why do we use may and might? We use them to talk about something that we are not quite sure that is going to happen in the future. Okay, so that's what possibility basically means. So it's possible that that thing is going to happen, and it's possible that it's not going to happen. So we're not sure, we don't know. Okay, so in order to form a correct sentence using may and might, you need to follow this form. So you see here two forms, but they're actually the same one. So okay, so at first we start with the subject. This is short for subject. Then after the subject comes may or might. Okay, after may or might comes the infinitive verb. After the infinitive verb comes the rest of the sentence. Okay, so this is a very important point. Infinitive verb. Infinitive verb is the base form of a verb, which means a verb with no additions to it. Okay, like catch here, for example. Okay, so in the normal state we say he catches, let's say, the ball or the bus. Okay, but whenever a modal verb comes after before the main verb, the main verb turns into an infinitive verb. Okay, so always after the modal verbs like may or might, can or could, must, and others comes an infinitive verb. So let's see here an example. He may catch the bus if he gets there on time. Okay, he is a subject, may as it is, catch is an infinitive verb. Okay, I know that the subject is a singular, so we have to put an es, catches, but as I said before, may or might are modal verbs, and after modal verbs comes an infinitive verb, so we don't add anything. There's no es, we can't write it as caught, we can't catching, we can't add anything, we just leave it as it is. So he may catch the bus if he gets there on time. Gets there on time is the the bus if he gets there on time is the rest of the sentence. Okay, so let's see another example for might. Okay, she might come to France with us. She is a subject, might as it is. Okay, come, infinitive verb, isn't comes or coming or came or yeah, it's just come as an infinitive verb. To France with us. To France with us is the rest of the sentence. Okay, so let's apply what we have learned so far. Okay, so put the words in the correct order. So we have words here, we have to put them in the correct order to create a correct sentence. Okay, so first one, let's answer it together. Tomorrow. go, we, full stop, concert, a, to, and may. Okay, so as I always tell you, whenever you are answering a grammatical question or a question related to grammar, use the form, put it in front of you, and answer based on it. Okay, so first we have subject. We have to look for a subject. We is subject. Okay, so is a pronoun that can functions as a subject. Okay, so we, then after the subject comes may or might. So I have to look for may or might. Here it is. Okay, I have may. I put it here. So after may or might comes an infinitive verb. So I have to look for a verb that is infinitive. Okay, I have go. We may go. Okay, so after that comes the rest of the sentence. So to a concert tomorrow. So after go, go means that I have to go to somewhere. So I need a preposition, which is to. Okay, then after to, I need to put the place that I'm going to. Okay, so I have concert. Okay, but I need an article for a concert, so I have here it is. Okay, to a concert, and I need the time that I want to go to, which is to go to the concert in. So I have tomorrow. So we may go to a concert tomorrow. Okay, so as I said before, sorry, and now continue on your own. Here's the rest of the exercises. You can continue answering them. So as I said before, you can put the form in front of you and answer based on it. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes so you can answer all of that. And if you felt like you need more time, you can pause the video and take as much time as you want. Hello, 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 hello. Shh. Okay, so I think that this is enough. But as I said before, if you felt like you need more time, you can pause the video and answer on your own. Okay. So the answers are, as you see here, number 2, I might travel to Paris in August. Okay, I is the subject. After the subject comes may or might, then comes the infinitive verb travel, then comes the rest of the sentence, to Paris in August. So they might fly to the moon next year. Subject, might, infinitive verb. Same here. Jane may come to the party on Saturday. Jane, subject, may, then come, infinitive verb, to the party on Saturday. We, subject, might, visit, infinitive verb. Our grandparents at the weekend is the rest of the sentence. So as you see here, maybe you are wondering what's the difference between might and may, because it's used in sentences. Each one is used in another sentence. Okay, so there's actually no difference between them. They serve the same purpose, but there's slight difference, which is may, we use it when we are, let's say, 50% sure about something, but might, we use it when we are less sure about something, maybe 30% or something like that. Okay, so that might be the only difference between them in this state. Okay, alright, so for the second part we have the story, reading comprehension. Okay, the story's title, sorry, is Rescuing the Seal Pups. Okay, it's in your student book page 98 and 99, and for your workbook it's in page 98 and 99 as well. Okay, so let's read and enjoy the story. Alright, so we have here the first paragraph, Rescuing the Seal Pups. The three friends took the spades and walked towards the sea. As they came closer to the beach, they could see 6 seal pups on an ice floe. "Did you know that they are called whitecoats?" asked Phoebe. "They don't go into the water for 4 or 5 weeks. First, their mothers feed them, but then they go hungry for some time. Their fur changes color, and after that they can go into the water to hunt." "Did you read all that in a book?" asked Patrick. "No," she replied. "I saw it in a documentary about Canadian seals. And did you know that nobody's allowed to hunt them in Canada? They are protected." "Okay, know-it-all, but we're not going to hunt them, so let's get closer and then we can see them," suggested Alex. "Closer? You're mad," said Patrick. "You may want to get your feet wet, but I certainly don't." "We shouldn't get closer anyway," said Phoebe. "We might scare them." Okay, so as you see here in the picture, our 3 friends, Alex, Phoebe, and Patrick, they are in a new place right now. They are in the North Pole. Okay, so they are going in a tiny adventure to take a look on the pups, maybe. They are looking for pups, seal pups, to look at them and maybe study them. Okay, so the 3 friends took their spades, okay, and walked towards the sea. Okay, and when they reached the sea, they saw 6 seal pups. Okay, so they are now stating some facts about the seal pups. So the first one here we have is that they are called whitecoats. Okay, so why are they called whitecoats? Okay, so as you see here, their fur, they're covered in white fur. Okay, as you see here. Okay, and we have another fact, which is they don't go into the water for 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, so they stay on the ice for 4 or 5 weeks, and their mothers feed them until they can hunt on their own to feed themselves. Okay, so we have Alex here asking where did Phoebe read all of that, or how does she know all of that? So she told him that she saw it in a documentary, okay, about Canadian seals. Okay, so documentary is a record of a specific subject. Alright, so she's saying as well that they are protected in Canada. So they're because hunting seals and seal pups, sorry, is common in some areas. They can hunt them and maybe sell them for high prices. So some countries like Canada are protecting those seal pups so they don't go extinct. Okay. All right. So Alex suggested that, but we are not going to hunt them, so let's get closer and then we can see them. So Alex is suggesting to get closer, to take a closer look on him, and to see how do they look like and how do they behave. Okay, but Patrick isn't actually happy about that suggestion, so he's saying that you may want to get your feet wet, Alex, but I certainly don't. So Patrick here doesn't want to get his feet wet by the freezing water between those two ice floes that they are walking on. So Phoebe is also telling Alex that we can't get closer, so if we got closer we are going to scare them and they're going to get away from us and we can't see them anyways. Alright, so what did the kids see when they got closer to the beach? Okay, they saw 6 seal pups. Alright, so why are the seal pups called white coats? As I said before, because white fur covers them for the first 4 or 5 weeks of their lives. Okay, so find out from the text an adjective. There is hungry, there is mad, there is more. You can find on your own. An adverb, certainly. Okay, proper noun, Canada. Okay, so documentary means a record of a specific subject. Okay, so when you are studying or doing researches about specific subjects, like maybe lions, maybe space, maybe seal pups, you can record all of that maybe in a form of a video, maybe in a form of a book. There's several forms and you can call that a documentary. Okay, we have another meaning here. Spades, as you see in this picture, this is a spade that the 3 friends were using. Spades means a digging tool with long handle. This is a long handle and wide metal blade. This is a blade, it's wide as you see and metal, and we use this tool to dig in the ground. Okay, so we have the second paragraph here. Same thing in page 98. Suddenly they hear the noise of a skydew. It stopped at the edge of the beach and 2 men got off. They were carrying sticks and had big knives in their belts. They are going to kill the seal pups for their fur, said Patrick. Sorry, Phoebe, but we have to jump on the ice right now to save those pups. Okay, so as you see in this picture, the 3 friends were hanging out together there, looking at the seal pups, enjoying their time, and they heard the noise of a skydew. And this is a skydew. It's a vehicle that is used to travel on ice, to drive on ice. Okay, so the skydew was driven by 2 men. These are the 2 men. Okay, so these 2 men had knives in their belts. Okay, and they were carrying sticks, as you see. Okay, so they were looking like they were going to hunt those seal pups, okay, to sell them and sell their fur. Okay, so the 3 friends realized that quickly, and they decided, as Patrick suggested, to jump over to the icy floe that the 6 seal pups were sitting on to save them. Okay, save them from those 2 evil men. Okay, so what were the men going to do to the seal pups? They were going to do what is called hunting seal pups, which means kill the seal pups to sell them for fur. To sell their fur. Okay, what did the kids do once they realized the situation? So once the kids jumped to the other ice floe where the seal pups were sitting. They saved them. They stayed there, and they were trying their best to save those seal pups. So they jumped on the ice floe to save the seal pups. Okay, find out from the text. Appossessive pronoun. Okay, so we have there. All right, an adverb. Suddenly. Okay, you can find more. Okay, so skydoo, a special vehicle to drive and travel on ice. As you see in this picture, they use this vehicle to travel on ice and drive on it. Okay, we have here the third paragraph. So, the children jumped into the ice, and the two boys used the spades to push the ice floe out into the sea. The two men tried to jump onto the ice floe, but it was already too far away from the beach, so they fell into the water. They shouted angrily at the children, then went back to their skydoo and drove away. How are we going to get back to the land? Alex asked. Well, we can't swim, said Phoebe, because the water is too cold. Okay, so as you see in this picture, the three kids jumped, as we said in the past paragraph, jumped on the ice floe that carries the six seal pups, and they used their spades, the two boys, Alex and Patrick, they used their two spades to push the ice floe that they were standing on away from the beach. So this is the beach, okay, and they pushed the ice floe away from it so they can get away from the two men, so the two men can't catch them. Okay, so in this way they saved the seal pups, and the men were running. They wanted to jump on the ice floe like the kids did, so they can take the seal pups, but it was already away from the beach and they couldn't jump long enough, so they fell into the water. Okay, and they got so angry, okay, at the kids, and they shouted angrily at them, and then they got out of the water and they went back to their skydoo and drove away. Okay, so the kids now saved the seal pups, which is something great, but they are stuck on an ice floe. Okay, they can't go back to the beach. Alright, so they stuck on the ice floe and they can't swim in the cold water because it's freezing, and it's so difficult to swim in the water. Alright, so what did the kids do to keep the men away? They used their spades to push the ice floe out into the sea. Okay, they used their spades and pushed the ice floe away from the beach. Alright, what happened to the men when they couldn't catch the kids? They fell into the water, then they got out and drove away with their skydoo. Okay, so find out from the text. A past tense verb. We have drove. Okay, I guess we have other past tense verbs you can find on your own. A preposition, into, we have as well other prepositions you can find on your own. Okay, so for the fourth paragraph, half an hour later they hit a helicopter, so they started to wave. The pilot saw them and lowered a man on a rope to rescue them. When they were safely in the helicopter, the pilot said, "What were you doing? That was very dangerous. You were lucky that we were out looking for two men and came this way." "We saw two men," exclaimed Alex. They described the men and the pilot radioed the police. Okay, so as you see in this picture, the kids and the 6 seal pups stayed on the isoflow while the isoflow is flowing in the water, and they couldn't get off the isoflow. They couldn't swim because the water was so cold, so they were just waiting for help, and they got the help. It was a helicopter was flying off that area, and it has a light. It could see the kids. When the kids saw it, they waved to tell the helicopter's pilot that there's people here that need help. So the helicopter lowered a man with a rope to carry the kids into it. Okay, so the pilot told them, what are you doing here? Why are you standing on an ice floe flowing in the sea where we can't do anything to escape or to go to a safe land? So they told them that you are lucky that we were actually flying over this area because we were looking for 2 men. Okay, and Alex told them that we saw 2 men. Okay, and they mean those 2 men who wanted to hunt and kill the seal pups to sell their fur. Okay, so what was the helicopter originally looking for? It was looking for 2 men. Okay, so find out from the text. A time expression, we have an hour. Okay, it's a time expression. An adjective, dangerous. Okay, so rescue is a verb. Rescue means to help or save someone or something from a dangerous situation. As we saw, the pilot at the helicopter saved the 3 kids from the ice floe that they were standing on. The ice floe was floating, in the sea with no specific destination. It was just randomly floating, and it was dangerous because they were getting away from any safe land. Okay, so radioed, to contact someone by using a radio. So you use radio to call someone and talk to them. So that's what radioed means. Okay, so for the last paragraph, a little later, the helicopter landed at a police station. We think that we have found those 2 men, one of the police officers said. But can you identify them for us, please? He showed them some photos, and the boys pointed to the 2 men. That's them, said Phoebe. Okay, so as you see in this picture, the 3 kids now are safe and sound in the police station. Okay, so the helicopter was it was owned by the police, and they put them in the police station so they can be safe. And one of the police officers, which is this guy, told the kids that we actually found those 2 men that we were talking about earlier. Okay, so but we need you to make we need to make sure that they are the 2 men that we were looking for. Okay, so please, can you help us? And the kids told them that yeah, we're going to help you. And the police officer showed them a couple of pictures of maybe criminals, and told them to identify, okay, which of these pictures are the 2 men. Okay, so the kids recognized the 2 men and told them that this one and maybe this one are the criminals. Okay, so how did the police know the identity of the 2 men? Sorry, the kids helped them by recognizing their pictures. So the police gave the kids pictures and told them to recognize them or identify which among those people are the criminals, the 2 men that they were trying to kill the pups. Okay, So find out from the text an irregular past tense verb we have found. Okay, a conjunction but. Okay, so there's more you can find on your own. So identify. Identify is a verb, means to recognize something or someone. يعني تتعرف على الشخص ما. Okay, so this is actually the last one. Okay, they left the police station and walked down to the beach to find more seals. There weren't any seals on the beach, but there was a big ice floe with a hole in it. Around the hole was a glowing yellow light. "Oh no, the water is freezing," said Patrick. But the children jumped into the hole. They were gone in a flash. Okay, so as you see in this picture, the kids got out from the police department, and they were walking on the beach looking for seal pups again. So they saw, they couldn't see any seal pups around, so they were just wondering, and they saw an ice floe that has a hole, as you see, a hole in it. Okay, so they looked inside the hole and they saw the time gate, the time traveling gate, which is the glowing yellow light. Okay, so whenever they see a yellow glowing light, that means that they have to jump in it, so it might get them to their original time, to their normal lives maybe. Okay, so that's how our story ends for this unit. Okay, so why did the kids go to the beach again? To find more seals. Okay, as we said before, they got out from the police department and they went to look for seals again. Okay, so what did the kids find instead of the sea? They found a big ice floe with a hole in it that contains the yellow glow. Okay, so they couldn't find any seals, but they found an ice floe that has a hole in it, and inside that hole there is the yellow glow, which is actually the time traveling gate. Okay, so find out from the text a preposition, we have around, a past participle verb, we have gone. Okay, from gone in a flash. Okay, so freezing. Freezing means a very cold substance state. So as you know, so water is a substance. It has states, okay, where it's normal, where it's too hot, where it's too cold, and where it's way too cold that it turns into maybe ice cubes. Okay, so that's what we call freezing. Okay, so this is it for our class for this week. Here's an homework, workbook page 97, exercise 2 and 3. Workbook page 98, exercise 1 and 2. Thank you for listening and attending to this class. I hope you understood everything, and if you have anything you can ask me whenever you want. Thank you, enjoy your time and stay safe.